Welcome to Valley News Now. I am Adam Shalafu, and today I am joined in studio by James Hood. Now, James, pretty incredible what you've managed to accomplish. I want to say over the weekend, but that's really just the cap on what has been a pretty remarkable journey. Graduating high school, and you're just 15 years old. So first off, how long did it take you to graduate high school? When did you even start?
So I think I started at the same time as everyone else, 5 years old, preschool, kindergarten.
High school.
Oh, high school.
If you started high school at 5 years old, even more impressive.
Yeah. I was 13 it was my 13th birthday when I first went into high school.
Okay. And so even then, you must have been kind of breezing through school to even get to that as your starting point. So let's go back even further. You said you started school at about 5 years old, and then bring me up to speed to about 13.
So I was homeschooled since I was 5. I had never really attended any other school besides, my home. And so basically, when I was homeschooled, I was able to more speedily complete subjects. I went through all the grades. I didn't skip grades, but I was able to do them at my own speed, which was just like faster than most people, but only a little bit. And so over time, a little bit faster than everyone for multiple grades, it allowed me to become, when I was 13, I had just done a freshman like algebra 2 and I had done all this stuff. And my parents thought it would be best if I went to high school, with more specialized instructors in math, science, and all that stuff. And I started taking 2 classes, physics and enriched pre-calculus. And since then, I've been in high school. I've taken more classes, and this past year, I was a full-time student as a senior
at Grand Forks Central, and the journey's not done. I know you plan to attend Johns Hopkins next, but I'm a big gap year guy. Sounds like you're doing a little gap year. I took my gap year. Tell us, what are you going to be doing during that gap year?
So in this gap year, I'm planning on trying to spend more time with my family, taking all those difficult classes and accelerating through. I haven't had to have the time to spend as much with my family, and so I would prefer, to spend a lot of time with them. It's kind of difficult taking multiple AP classes and having enough time at the end of the night to hang out with my family, and so being able to do that is going to be incredible. I've also, as you can see, I've got this shirt here. This is my band. This is the logo for my band, Owl. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Owl Rock Band. And I'm planning on maybe trying to go on tour with them and, have plenty of gigs, whatnot, play.
Sounds like you guys have already had a few gigs here.
Yes. So we've done most of our playing in Grand Forks, at the Empire, this place, Ohata Records. We've done, I think, one charity event and a few other festivals and, holiday events. And we've also played down here at Parachigo's. It's downtown. Or at least it was. I believe they moved locations. But it's downtown here in Fargo. It was an absolute blast.
And it sounds like that's a family affair as well. You got a few siblings in the band as well?
Yes. In fact, the entire band is made up of my siblings. So I'm the drummer. My little brother, Oliver, he is the guitarist. And my littlest brother, baby Bamrick, he's both the bassist and the singer. So, we keep it in the family. It's a family band, having a lot of fun.
Now, I got to ask, how are you doing it? Because, school's hard. School's
Yeah.
hard on its own. And I remember high school was no joke for me. And to be able to balance the time where you're, going and playing in some local venues with your brothers and composing music, practicing music, completing school ahead of time, how do you find that balance of time?
So it's very difficult trying to do all this stuff. Like you said, the biggest thing is, it's not about finding time, it's about making it. If you have a bunch of homework tonight, I've really tried to get it done as fast as possible. I always tried to do good, but when it comes to family, you always got to make time for them. And being able to spend time with them and do music and do such enjoyable things that really make life, special. You always got to make time. And different methods I was able to do. It was just trying to get my homework done fast. That's the biggest thing, and also
But not too fast.
not too fast. I always tried to get it done, with as best as possible, completion. But like I said, you still gotta try, and if you're spending too long on something, even if you're trying to get it perfect, you can't do that. You gotta try to find time with your family.
And I got to give, who was the homeschool instructor? Mom, dad, both?
That was my father. He always valued education, and so when we decided to do homeschool, he stepped in as the person who was going to do homeschool. He really enjoyed spending time with us and being able to share knowledge and teach us things.
Well, he had to be a pretty darn good teacher to be able to get you ready at that rate. What do you have to say about him as an instructor and helping you prepare not just for what you've accomplished most recently, graduating from Grand Forks Central, but being able to take the road before that, even going to high school, getting through all those grades, as you said, a little faster than normal?
So he really encouraged us to have a strong pursuit of knowledge and wanting to learn more about the world. And so that always pushed me further to try and learn as much as possible and as short as possible. And so when he came up with the idea of me maybe going to high school to take these classes, these more advanced classes, I jumped at the chance. Because I've always wanted to learn more. And his encouragement throughout all of me being in high school is what kept me going. Especially, and with the rest of my family's support, of course.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here. I know a lot of people, they complain about school. It's not fun for everybody. And I remember when I got in college, for my personal journey, I got more invested in my education because I started to enjoy it more. And so it seems like this is something that you already really enjoyed from the go. What helped you kind of build that love for learning?
So I don't know if there's exactly one thing or even a few things. I've always just really enjoyed learning because I want to know more. If if an apple falls from a tree, I want to know why. And it's probably because of my parents. They've always been curious individuals, and they've always wanted to learn more, pursued an education, and because of that, I've always wanted to. They've rubbed off on me in a very positive way, and so I do find school fun most of the time. As of all things, it can be kind of frustrating and tedious, but you've always got to think, what is this going to do for me in the future, and what is it doing for me now, making me a better person, trying to pursue these amazing things.
And what are some of your favorite subjects that you got to dabble in throughout your time?
My two favorite subjects are, math and science, so all of my classes in that were awesome. My two favorite classes were AP Biology and AP Calculus because, I just, they're math and science. And biology is just one of the most interesting things that I've ever learned, about the human body, DNA, and calculus has so many applications. And also, math is just interesting to me in any ways because, numbers moving around and being able to model what's really happening with an equation. I've always found that interesting.
Excellent. So taking that gap year, as we mentioned, and then attending Johns Hopkins, so in the fall of 2025, do you plan to continue with that math and science journey then?
Yes, I'm planning on majoring in molecular biology and maybe getting a minor in either chemistry or mathematics, physics, any of those things, and really pushing forward and trying to maybe get a career in teaching.
Okay. And what do you want to teach? Do you want to teach, maybe go straight to college? You'll be teaching college by 17?
I was thinking that. Well, I'm going to get my doctorate and master's so I can try to, teach more advanced subjects in school, as well as, my master's, because I'd like to head a department to not only teach students and what they're going to do in the future and to improve humanity, but to try and improve things myself by trying to do my own research.
Very cool. That's very cool stuff. And so you said that you're also doing a little traveling this summer as well, though, and that sounds like a great way to spend a little gap year or some of that time off.
Yep, I'm going to Germany. I'm part of the GAP exchange program. It's absolutely going to be amazing. We're going to be in Berlin. We're going to see the sites. It's going to be very fun.
And so when you're going through the admissions process, it's already not exactly conventional. You're not sending stuff out as a 16-year-old junior and stuff like that. And so walk me through that. When did you reach out to Johns Hopkins, and what other schools were on your short list?
So I started reaching out to Johns Hopkins as like basically the same time as all students do. The fall winter of your senior year, of course. Just regular applications. It wasn't too much. It was difficult because I did a lot of AP classes and I was taking more classes at the time. And Johns Hopkins specifically because they have a good medical program. And reaching out to them, it wasn't really anything special. It was just the normal application process, Common App, and other things like that. And yeah, it was pretty normal. And my other schools I applied to Columbia, MIT, Harvard, stuff like that. Many of the Ivy League schools, as well as the University of California system.
Okay. And what was it about Johns Hopkins that made that your pick?
They are well known as one of the best medical and research facilities on Earth. In the country, very good. But even global universities, many of them don't compare. And most of them don't compare to Johns Hopkins, especially in medical research, which I'd like to get into.
Excellent. Now let's take a look at some of these videos and pictures here from the graduation. And so here you are walking the stage and getting your diploma, and then we're going to get into some images here. Can you tell us the significance of, we have the quilt and the feather in the cap here. Just tell us about what we're looking at here.
So basically, I'm a Native American. I am enrolled in the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa Indians, known as the Ojibwe. I'm an Ojibwe. And that feather I received from a ceremony where they were giving out feathers to Native Americans who were completing high school with their diploma. It's a very special thing. Not a lot of Native Americans are doing this nowadays, and it's the rates have been quite low for graduation. And so having that feather and helping to represent my people is very special to me. And the quilt I also received at that ceremony.
And what does it mean to you to be able to accomplish these things, and especially just going back to this previous picture here, being able to have the support of your family, and I can tell you guys are a very tight-knit group. Just when you guys came to the building, you guys play music together, make music together, and here they are supporting you at a very special day in your life.
So I don't know how far I would have made it without them. I personally think I'm an ambitious person, but ambition can only take you so far, and having a good family that can support you in the tough times and the worst of times, and even to bring you up in the best of times, is absolutely necessary for trying to pursue such a rigorous educational path. If you don't have something to ground you where you're at, then you might get lost and not find your way back to the path that you were on.
Wow, it's goosebumps. That's a quote. Got to get that written down for me. That's some great stuff, my friend. And I want to challenge you to give some advice to other people. Maybe they're even behind in high school. Maybe they're getting ready to start that journey. But what advice would you give someone who's looking to get their education on track, or even accomplish at a high level? What advice would you have for students?
Make sure to make sure you have that support. Without it, it's going to be a grueling process trying to do all this stuff. And also, even though you have the support, it will be difficult. You always got to keep moving. You can't give up. If you start giving up, or you start thinking, I could just let this assignment be late, all this stuff, you'll start to fall behind, and you'll lose your way, and you won't be able to find your way back to it. And so you always got to keep pushing forward. You never stop. And there will be times where you'll feel like just giving up, but you can't do that. You've always got to keep going. You never stop.
Heard it here first, folks. Never stop. Always keep going. Sounds like a lot of determination, dedication, and drive to get you down the road. you're trying to pursue. So thank you so much. Just really cool getting to talk to you, getting to know you here in studio. Some pretty inspiring stuff. And is there anything else you'd like to add before we let you go here?
So just as a quick reminder, I'm in a band, and so we're on Facebook and Instagram at Our Rock Band. Please check us out. We play a lot of rock and roll music. We love to play shows. If you have any shows that you have, if you're like a person setting up events, contact us. But if you're just someone who likes listening to good music, check us out. We post updates on all of our on what we play, our gigs, as well as other things of the sort.
Well, let's get a nice zoom in on that cool logo you got there. Bear with me, folks. Doing this remote camera work here. Let's get a nice tight shot. And so the band is called Owl. Look at that. All right. So we got the O, the W, and the L. What inspired the name?
It's actually an acronym for Our Wonderful Life.
Ooh, okay. Keeping the
Yeah.
positive energy coming here.
Yeah.
Our Wonderful Life. They called me Owl Man when I was in high school. Fun fact, when I was 15. But a much less cool story. I was just very short, and the seniors said that I perched around like an owl when I would sit up in my chair. But I will bestow upon you. You can be the Owl Man now.
Yes.
'Cause that's super cool. I'm going to have to check out the band. I got one more for you. Give me your top 3 classic rock bands before you go. It doesn't even have to be in order.
So Metallica, I like Kiss, and I'll say Guns N' Roses.
Okay. This guy's got some taste. Thank you so much, James, for joining. What a remarkable journey it's already been, and we wish you the very best as you continue that journey with your family and pursue that education at Johns Hopkins. For now, Adam Shalafu with James Hood, Valley News Now.